The following programme has not been approved by any sanctioning bodies associated with MLS, US Soccer or Don Garber. It is not intended to replace actual informed opinions from soccer experts. Side effects may include propensity to spout bad takes, excessive use of salary acronyms, and a longing for the return of running penalty kicks. The Worlds GAM is not responsible for increased enthusiasm for Major League Soccer after listening. Enjoy at your own risk.
Well, hey, you. Welcome back to the Worlds GAM. So happy to have you here. Kevin Wallace, along with the Chief and Grayson. And Chief, you know, this is sort of a tough spot in the schedule for MLS because, well, you know, we're just after the playoffs, first round. We've got the international break before the next round starts. There's just not a whole lot to talk about.
No, it's it'd be a shame if they went and had a huge info and news dump on this ahead of this off weekend. That would be a shame.
Oh God. Yeah, Grayson, it was message to us on the Discord. A true throw out the rundown kind of evening.
It was a real shame to have to like throw out all the prep work that we had done to like rip up all the notes that we had taken.
Oh man. So many hours of research that went into this.
I mean, all of the content we were going to do on Brenner being suspended for dropping Trow in the middle of a playoff game, or fined, I should say, not suspended.
Yes. That was, I did see somebody in the FC Cincinnati world say when the fine came out, I was secretly wondering if he was going to be suspended, but didn't want to give it oxygen. So,
it's happening. It's happening. The winter schedule
out. MLS, according to Tom Bogert and Paul Tenorio of The Athletic of the New York Times, are saying, leading off their story here, barring last-minute snags and final discussions and agreements with the MLSPA, seems kind of like a big hurdle, but here we are. The Board of Governors is prepared to make official a change to a fall-spring calendar that syncs up with many top European leagues, according to multiple sources briefed on the agenda. We did it. We did it, gentlemen. We have finally...
We did what?
I don't know.
We've made being a fan of this league less fun? Because if so, that was our mission all along, right?
So here's my question. Do people talked about like, oh, it'll increase our ability to get free transfers, it'll like make our ability to sell players more easy and whatever.
Sure.
Are they going to align the North American window with the European window in the summer?
I would assume that would have to be part and parcel to all this.
But we were told we couldn't do that because of Canada. Is Canada changing because we changed the schedule? Because if not, it just feels like there's another excuse for the transfers not like working out or like not being as cheap as they should be.
Yeah, but the issue
where we have to close our window before Europe says. And until we align the summer window, that feels like more important than changing the schedule, frankly.
Yeah, I don't
aligning the summer window with the European window feels, as far as like bringing you on the same playing field for transfers, feels more important than moving from a fall to spring calendar.
But I don't even think you need to align the windows to see the benefit of this, because it's not like aligning the windows makes sense in terms of, we've heard a number of MLS general managers say that because of the misalignment of the windows, North American and MLS teams have to make best and final offers to other clubs, especially clubs over in Europe, prior to the close of their window.
Yeah.
And that means they have to pay more in order to get a deal done, when other teams would say, yeah, you're offering this, but I've still got another week that I can sell this player elsewhere and try to get a better price for this player. So they have to make best and final a lot earlier in the process. But even if you don't align those windows, you would still theoretically see more benefit from switching to the winter schedule because, again, you are putting yourself in a position where the players you're looking for and that you're bidding on are all part of this. The season is ready to start. Players that are out of contract or players that are going to be out of contract at the start of the season, or they've been out of contract since the end of since the springtime. And not only that, too, you're also putting yourself in a position where if you have to sell players, even if the windows don't align, you're not in this position of I have to make the decision between selling a player now at apex value when this player and his agent are pushing to go and worrying that this player will not be available for a playoff run or a stretch run. So even if you didn't make the windows line up 1-to-1, I think it solves a major issue that general managers have been complaining about, and that's that I don't want to have to sell my best players in the summertime, in the middle of our season, and I don't want to have to go shopping in the winter when European teams and teams on the European calendar are in the same position we are in the summer, where they don't want to give up good talent because they're in the middle of their seasons as well. So, yeah, it would be nice to get the calendar dates aligned perfectly, but even not, I still think that most of the sporting directors in this league think it's a better deal.
Yeah, as far as buying players in the summer, I'm not sure because they have been out the same amount of time. Like their season ended at the same time, regardless of whether we're on the fall spring calendar, and our window goes to August, whatever. And so getting this player started is like about the time they'd be starting in Europe anyway. So
yeah,
but I do hear you on selling MLS players in the summer, right? Like not having to sell your best players in the mid season, and then in the winter, not having that be your primary transfer window when it's mid season in Europe. I think that's right.
And not only that too, but like also this idea that the way the windows are right now currently, the summer window happens way too late in the MLS calendar.
Yeah,
that when you
don't have time.
By the time you get,
but it can't happen earlier because that's when the European window.
Sure, but
happens.
if you go to the European calendar, then all of a sudden your summer window is the preseason. Your winter window will kick off right around the time you're gearing up for the return from the winter break. And that January window will lead into the second half of your season. It is much more evenly divided on that calendar than it is right now, where you're bringing in players in the summer window, and if you're lucky, having them available for what, like 8 games, 9 games, 10 games, like less than a third of your season?
Yeah. Especially when that's when you're making the big splashy signing, right? That's when you're bringing in Son. That's when you're bringing in Mueller. But they don't have enough time to really get up to speed. Or if you are making a lot of additions, a lot of changes, it's a lot for your team to be changing while, you've only got like a month and a half left of the season.
You know what is...
Yeah.
You know what's killing people on the windows?
What's that?
I guarantee you, like a big driver of the change
Hmm.
is Messi coming in 23 in the summer when Miami was like too far down the standings for him to like bring them into the playoffs.
And got within like a game or two of actually making the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, like think of all the lost revenue, all the business metrics that were screwed up by this.
Like people, like that was a huge talking point that summer of whether like bringing Messi in was going to be enough to get Miami up into the playoffs. And it was like just not enough. And getting them into the playoffs would have been a huge deal for the league.
Well, that's good that the next time they have to go get Lionel Messi in this league, they'll be well situated with this calendar.
Well, when they need to get like Kylian Mbappe,
right.
It'll
I
be
will
it'll
be
be
there.
aligned.
When Yamil comes up. Yeah, Yamal.
So, all right. So first off,
Yeah.
I think we're all in the position of, look, if you're listening to this show, you're probably enough of an MLS sicko to know that this is the worst kept. This was the worst kept secret
Yes.
in pro sports that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I tried desperately all day to find out whether or not this is actually happening tomorrow. I couldn't get a straight answer on it. But I also didn't get a no, which leads me to believe, yeah, this is going to happen. By the time you listen to this, most likely the vote will either have happened or will be happening on this.
It'll happen as early as the 2027 season.
Right.
Is the reporting that it's not going to happen next year.
When it would have made the most sense, which is, super on brand for soccer in America. And that's mostly due to the fact that, number one, they're going to have to do a ton of work on sponsorship deals, on contracts, on all sorts of things to have this ready to go. And not for nothing, I think that this is going to be a tough sell to the fans in MLS.
Talk to
and
me,
I
Steve,
say that just because this
cards
is
on the table. I love this. I love this move. So continue.
Okay. In that, this will be the first time in my lifetime where an American professional sports league has fundamentally shifted the calendar they play on. For my entire adult life, every one of the pro sports has played the exact same calendar, give or take the NFL having an extra bye week or tinkering with whether the first round of the NBA playoffs is a best of 5 or a best of 7. They haven't shifted the calendar like this. And this was a league that was built in large part on being a summer league. It marketed itself in cities that were, that didn't have baseball in a lot of these places. They picked these cities specifically because there wasn't a lot of competition in the winter. It's a league that, it is a little less of a family league, but it's historically been a league that has been a little bit more of a mixed bag in terms of age and demographics. And now you're going to be asking people to commit to games during the school year that aren't in the summertime anymore, cold weather games that are, below freezing. You're going to put a big break in the middle of the schedule. This will be the first time in the history of an American sports league that there will be a built-in, over a month-long break in the calendar. That's uncharted territory for American sports.
Yeah.
And the average MLS ticket buyer, they're not into transfer window alignment or the need to emulate what's going on in Europe. They're going to MLS games because it's a fun time out in the summer. The environments are really, really great. I think that they're underestimating the extent, especially in places like Minnesota, Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Columbus, Chicago, Kansas City even. They're underestimating a little bit, I think, what people will think if all of a sudden this sort of fourth sport in most people's minds requires more of them than putting shorts and a kit on and going out to have a few beers with the friends.
So a couple of things with that. One is the time and the months where MLS will be playing is virtually unchanged, with the exception of the middle of the summer. Totally get that. But right now, the league takes off from early December until mid-February. And from the reporting, that's about the winter break that they're looking for here. You have a summer break for sure, but let's not forget there are World Cups during those breaks. There are Gold Cups during those breaks. There are Euros during those breaks, where MLS has historically taken a 1 or 2 week pause anyway during those times, if not longer. Or if they don't take those pauses, which is the other thing people complain about, then the best players aren't available for the teams during those times. So I think the shifting the calendar to, oh my God, we're playing games in November. Now we're going to be playing games in November, I don't buy it. And I understand like the casual fan argument of like, oh, well, they didn't sign up to watch games in November or early December. But I say like college football does it. NFL does it. Like I understand we want to say like those leagues are better than MLS. I don't know. University of Minnesota football fans managed to sit outside for 4 hours. Why can't Loons fans sit outside for an hour and a half?
It's not college football.
I don't have a I don't
It's
I don't have
different.
a strong
It's different.
I don't have a strong
How
feeling.
is it different? No. How is it different? They're tightly community driven. There are literal fan sections or student sections at these games.
And the Loons need like a third of the people.
Right?
College football's a bit like I'm sorry, college like hot take, college football is a bigger deal in this country than soccer. It just is.
Yeah,
the
that's true.
ratings say that, the money says that, the ticket sales say that. And not for nothing, you talk about we're playing the same schedule. Oh, you're already playing in November. That's not entirely true. We play the playoffs in November, and it's easier to convince fans to come to a playoff game with actual stakes in cold weather than it is here is a Wednesday night matchup between Minnesota and Sporting Kansas City. Like, they're just different.
I guess
it's easier. You are going to have an easier time getting people to go to a game on a weeknight in the winter in cold weather when there are stakes versus a regular season matchup. It's just going to be different.
I guess I just assume that they're making that trade-off.
Yeah, no, they clearly are because they're about to approve it today.
that they don't. Well, that they've considered that opinion and just have dismissed it for whatever reason. Like, they don't care if attendance dips mid-season in December and in January or on the whatever the edges of their winter break are.
Yeah.
And without looking at whatever they're looking at for why they're okay with that dip, it's hard for me to say like, oh, this is a bad move. Because maybe you just don't care if you lose some attendance mid-season because X% of your fans are season ticket holders anyway. So you've already banked that revenue. And then you're expecting even stronger attendance more at the beginning and end of the year and like into the playoffs and stuff. And like, if they're wrong, they're wrong. But I'm not looking at what they're looking at, so I can't say like.
I know what they're looking at. You know what they're looking at.
Do you know?
Yeah, I do know what they're looking at. What are they looking at? They are looking at the fact, and this is fans are secondary on this, and that bothers me a little. Is what they are looking at is they are looking
TV.
at TV. Is that MLS is the only professional sports league that relies more on gate revenue than TV revenue, and they are desperate and have been desperate to do anything to make the TV property more valuable. And the reason why the TV property isn't valuable right now is that the most compelling games in the MLS calendar are going straight up against college football, the National Football League, the NBA, the NHL, and college basketball. Right now, we're in the sports equinox season right now. And the MLS Cup playoffs, in addition to getting washed out by international breaks in the middle of it that ruin the momentum, is getting absolutely washed out by all of these other sports that it's competing with. And this is their attempt to try and create a more valuable TV property. I get that. That's the driver behind this. But that's also bad for the paying fan that is actually going to have to show up and watch these games. That's bad for me as a season ticket holder. I don't care about their TV value and their TV property when I'm in the stadium. I care, like, in general, that I want them to have more money to sign better players, but you're not going to give me a price break on tickets for having to go through worse weather and a worse time of the year to watch games in the regular season package, and then you're going to sell me extra tickets at the nicest time of the year. That's kind of screwed up for me.
I think you're right. I think you're right in the sense that is that one, MLS does want to screw over its current paying customer because like you
There's
said,
not enough of us.
yeah, because like you said, like MLS is the only league that relies more on gate revenue than TV revenue, right? So they want to make it more valuable as a TV product, even if that makes it less valuable or less enticing or less enjoyable as a in-person experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, like as the league grows, you as a your current experience as a season ticket holder is likely to get worse. And frankly, it already has. Like as season ticket holders of a team that joined the league fairly recently, you know, I would say like our prices have gone way up.
Yep.
As they're trying to maximize gate revenue. And our experience like hasn't really, I mean, like, you know, if you're an FC Cincinnati fan, like your experience as a fan has gotten better in the sense of like you're winning, the team doesn't suck. You're winning a lot more games. But like you look at like the prices they're charging for season tickets, and they're throwing in these like they're making you buy these Champions League and Leagues Cup games where they're not putting their best foot forward.
No.
And then you look at the prices they're charging for playoff tickets, which are crazy, like crazy markups on what you paid for the season. It's very hard to come away with the conclusion that they like you very much as a person who buys tickets for MLS games, but at the same time, they're not like raw. They're not like they're not being irrational. Like if like let's say like they didn't if they didn't grow the TV audience and TV revenue, and by TV I mean like obviously I mean like streaming and like broadcast writ large.
Right.
If they don't grow that audience, they don't grow that revenue. How do they increase revenue in the league to put a better product on the field other than like raising ticket prices even more?
Like the whole draw of MLS has always been that it is a great in-game experience. And even on TV, they sell the in-game experience as the reason to watch it.
Yeah.
And it seems very weird to me that like they would chase the TV dollars at the risk of harming the one thing that historically has sold people on this league. Like, what is the reason for MLS? Because I can watch better soccer elsewhere on TV. What is the reason? It's the experience of being able to actually be at a game and to see what the in-stadium experience looks like. And if they think they can chase enough money to make the product better to offset that, great. I think that's a big risk for the league because there's no guarantee that the money is going to turn up for TV.
Well, then even if you increase the TV exposure and money like so much, if you do neglect and gouge the in-game consumer so much, like gouge them on the price side, but also make it like just unappetizing to go to a game because you're having a home game in Minnesota on December 29th at 8:30 p.m. local time. Like,
which
that
I don't think they're going to do, but take your point.
Whatever. But that makes the TV product worse.
Yes.
If you eat into attendance, like death by 1,000 cuts, right? Like the price goes up X and that causes certain people to go. You have more night games and that causes certain people not to go, and then the temperature and weather is like worse to a degree, and that causes like other people not to go. And then you put a game on TV, and there's like 12,000 people at Allianz Field or at whatever the Chicago Fire's new stadium is, or at lower.com field. Like it's not as fun of a TV product. Like
I take the
like
point.
part of it is because like I like watching LAFC games, not just because LAFC is a fun team to watch, but because like LAFC's crowd is top 5 in the league.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally
And then so I don't think that like I don't know what you would do to like make people not want to go to the LAFC game, but if you made a choice that was like a pure trade-off, like we could get like 10 million people more watching MLS games, but like now there's just going to be like 5,000 people showing up to LAFC games. Like I wouldn't do that.
But like LAFC is a bad example just because like LAFC and San Diego are weatherproof. Like it's always nice. Like
yeah,
well,
but
the problem
if you move the stadium to Mammoth Mountain,
the problem you guys are
you'd
worried
like it
about
better because you could ski the games. You would love that.
not with those lines.
the problem that you're worried about though already has happened. Hell is Real, Game 1 and Game 2 both did not sell out.
Right?
They were pretty close though.
Okay, but close is not selling out.
Sure. How are they going to do if
both crowds were awesome?
Yeah, but how are they going to do if
Sure.
all of a sudden it doesn't have playoff implications attached to it? Like the sales will be even worse.
That's fine because I'd rather the best, most important games happen during the best peak ideal times. There's a reason why the Super Bowl is never in Green Bay or Chicago. The NFL knows that when the game matters, they're going to put it in weather or conditions that are ideal for the game to be showcased.
So a couple of quick thoughts. One is they have done the Super Bowl in Indy and Minneapolis.
Indoors.
Indy's indoors, Minneapolis is indoors.
Dome stadiums, fine.
They did it in New York one time, and everybody got scared to death that it might snow.
The other thing is that, with the Cincinnati and Columbus playoff games not fully selling out, I think it's fair to assume that if you have those games at the same relative time of year, but in the middle of the regular season, they will still sell out for a couple of reasons. One,
They play them on a Saturday.
One, you still have your full complement of season tickets. And two, you can put them at peak times without regard to when other games are going on because you're not like trying to like stagger them with other playoff games. And then if you put the playoff games in like late spring, you might think that you can stagger them the same way they do now, but still count on larger crowds because like the weather's better and like kids are getting out of school and it's just people are, and it's light later. So people are more inclined to go to a Monday night game in late May that's suddenly thrust on their calendar than one in early November. I'm just saying like the thought process on that.
For sure. And the other thing, too, I want to bring up another point here. A lot has been made of the northern teams and the winter weather, and I get that, and I understand the concern. However, there is an equal and opposite concern. FC Dallas is currently renovating their stadium with the main goal of putting a roof over the stands because it is so damn hot, they struggle to draw an attendance, and the match day experience is awful. So many games throughout the league are delayed multiple times for hydration breaks because it is miserably hot and so hot that the conditions to play the game are difficult. To me, a hydration break when it's wet bulb temperature, or we are so unbelievably hot that we're playing in 110 degree weather that we have to stop to make sure the player's safety is okay. That's the same thing as needing to shovel the snow off the field.
No,
to get
it's
the
not,
lines.
because you can have a cold drink to cool down. There is nothing that gets you warm when you're cold. I'm sorry.
Ask the San Diego college football fans.
It's just a layer.
The college
it is
football
so much
fan,
easier to get warm when it's cold than it is to get cold when it's hot.
Once you get cold, you're done. Like, there's nothing
to be done.
Yeah, no.
I disagree.
There's only so much you can take off. You can put more on. You can
just ask Brenner.
Being cold is miserable. And here's the other problem too with this is that what is going to happen.
Being cold is fine.
Being cold sucks.
You just
up.
put gloves on.
You can drink a hot drink and warm up.
And if you have gloves on, how are you supposed to fire off takes on Twitter when you're wearing gloves? That's nonsense.
Go into the club and do it.
No, not all of us can sit in the club.
Go into the concourse.
No. Here's the other problem too, is that what the winter schedule is going to mean. I know this. They haven't said this yet, but I know this. Is that this is more day sporting event propaganda. Day sporting events suck. Everyone hates day sporting events. You ask anyone in the Big Ten, what do they hate more than anything else? Big noon kickoff. Because nobody wants to play a sporting event at noon or during the daytime because being day drunk sucks once you're over the age of 22. No, I don't want
trying to market to younger people.
Disagree.
I don't want daytime sporting events. It's like, oh, well, we'll do it when the sun's out. No, then I'm just hammered at 3 o'clock on a Saturday and my day is ruined.
You don't have to be hammered.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Well, I don't need to. I like to.
You could be warm. You could be warmed up.
I guess just for me, the most of the concerns people have, we already have. We already play most of the season during the school year. We already play the most important games when it's cold. We already start the season in mid-February. And again, the most important games of the schedule, the CONCACAF Champions League, we discount and don't care about that tournament, generally speaking, as MLS fans, because it happens when it's really, really cold. Or it's because we're starting the season. And it's all brand new.
Well, I'm not sure I want to care about the tournament, first of all. And second of all, it's still going to be cold. Like, they're not going to change when they do it, are they?
Yeah, that's what will happen. As soon as we flip to the schedule, CONCACAF will be like, well, actually, the Champions League will be in July now.
Well, what they've done in the past is it would start in the fall of the year prior and continue through into the spring of the next year, not unlike the European Champions League, which follows the exact same model. They changed it.
You will never convince me it's a better idea to be outdoors more in the wintertime. Sorry, not going to happen.
I'm great being outdoors in the wintertime.
There's just a point where MLS needs to assert itself as a league where fans care about it. Like, it cannot be the fun, goofy fad that soccer moms do. Like, there has to be a degree of the community actually cares about these teams.
What is this, like some sort of it's a litmus test? Like, you don't care enough unless you're willing to show up on a Wednesday night in December?
No, but I
think
get what he's saying.
If you're a Bengals fan or a Buffalo Bills fan or a Green Bay Packers fan, and you have a regular season game and it's gonna snow and you don't go because of the weather, I'm not judging your fandom, but other people might. Like, there is a degree of, if this sporting team cannot stand on its own merits, I don't know that it should exist as a sporting team.
I proudly turn down sports tickets when it's going to be very, very cold out. I don't want to go. I'm sorry. I hate being cold. Being cold is miserable.
Well, the good news is there are a bunch of teams in the South around MLS that come early December, you could easily have Chicago play in Miami.
Then it's a schedule disadvantage. Is that they get these home games at regular intervals and we got to go on the road forever? No, that's nonsense. This is all nonsense. You don't think it would
then flip that during the hotter times of the year they would play in the northern cities?
Doesn't matter. That's stupid. That like you have like these long stretches where you're like away or home, and that's
Doesn't
like
need to be
screwed
long.
up.
I don't care about this.
Does not
I
need
don't
to be
care.
long.
I don't care about cold games.
Yeah, well,
Like I get
you're a
that there
skier. You're barely a person.
I get that there may be some people that won't go to games when it's cold, but I do agree with Kevin that like you do have at some point have to like have some confidence in yourself that you have fans who want to go to your games and will go when the weather's bad.
All I'm saying is that also, if you were going to do this, a little heads up like a decade ago before most of these teams were building stadiums would have been nice before they built these places designed for summer games.
I'm not going to cry for
how many places would have put a
billionaires.
roof on if like they would have known, I have to host games in the wintertime?
Let
I don't know
Arthur
that a
Blank
roof
pay
helps
for
you.
everybody's roof.
Yeah, I don't know that a roof helps you. Like every college football stadium doesn't have a roof.
Sure. And if we ever reach a point where like people are poisoning trees and like putting for sale signs on their coach's front yard for losing a game in soccer and MLS, yeah, I'll agree with you that we can play these games in any weather. Like they're not sickos like that.
I'm going to a college football game this weekend. It'll be fine.
Look, I as much as, Auburn and Alabama is fun, I don't see their fans writing unique songs and setting off smoke.
It's
bombs.
also Auburn and Alabama. It's beautiful the entire year there. Like again, like
Is it?
not. Well, I mean,
It's
other than
hot
the
as
people,
hell.
Tolerable.
It's hot
humid.
as hell in the summer. It's miserable.
not during the football season. The football season's fine.
The beginning of the football season is pretty hot. Okay, Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan State.
These people are sickos, though.
Purdue, Indiana.
That's
Which-
real. That's real sicko
Which
shit.
doesn't matter.
Right. But, I mean, this year they might lose by 70. That's fun. Kevin,
Minnesota,
all right, so-
Wisconsin.
So
Yeah.
Northwestern against anybody.
You really are just asking for a miserable time if you're going to watch Northwestern football.
I've been to many
Building a
Northwestern
soccer
games.
stadium for all intents and purposes over there.
Yeah,
Can we talk-
right now they're in like a they are. I think they're in like a women's soccer stadium right now.
Yeah, and the new one that they're building is like would fit very nicely in MLS.
Let's talk about the playoffs though, because that was the bigger bombshell news I thought than the winter schedule. Like you morons can enjoy freezing and frostbite. And remember that time that player almost died of frostbite because they played a game in Minnesota? Cool, that'll be every year now.
Matt Freeze, he had it coming. Oh, it's right there
No,
in the
so
name.
first of all, it was Matt Turner,
Damn,
and
I got my
it was
goalkeeper.
disputed that he got frostbite.
Almost died.
Very
Many
weird
people are saying.
story, though. Very weird story. Chief, you're exactly right. So there's two other big pieces with this that even without the schedule change, I think would be massive, massive news. One is the introduction, I'll say kind of, sort of divisions. And the other is a revamped playoff process, including, which I should say, they have not settled on a playoff format. Everything's on the table.
And they won't until like 20 minutes before the season kicks in 2027.
As is tradition. That is one MLS tradition that will never change, is we do not know the rules of the competition until moments before the competition starts. But one of the popular playoff formats is apparently taken from Aussie rules football, of a kind of sort of seeded double elimination tournament where essentially some of the teams are already seeded into the losers bracket. That might be the best way to mentally visualize what's happening here. But lots of options are on the table. We know that they were looking at other versions of this before, including like a group stage a la the World Cup type thing in the past. Everything would be on the table. Another benefit of the schedule switch is there would be no international breaks in that sort of mid to late April all the way through May and beginning of June. So you don't have the weirdness that we're dealing with now. So you can play around with the format, build it however you want. But I'm kind of curious about divisions. Divisions have weirdly been divisive online. Chief, thoughts on divisions? Yeah.
I mean, part of the problem with divisions is you get into the situation that they have in the NFL currently, where inevitably there is one division that's just shit. It's been the NFC South for a while, then it was the AFC South for a while, now it's back to the NFC South. But like when you have divisions, the idea I think would be is that they move to a single table.
Yes.
And that within the single table there are like 6 or 5 pods of divisions or something like that, I think.
So it looked like it's going to be 5 divisions of 6 teams, but you're right. This seems to be scheduling only. The standings will be a single table.
Yeah, I think the idea is that you play the other 5 teams in your division twice.
Yeah, twice. That's home and away.
Home and away. And then you play the remainder of the league a split between home and away. And that gets you to your 34 games. I mean, the problem with that is that then if you're in a situation where you're playing in a division and your division happens to include, like, this year, like DC United and Atlanta, right, then congratulations, you've had the ability to rack up 4 really easy wins when someone else might have been in a division with, you know, like Cincinnati and Philly, if that was in a pod together, or Cincinnati and Nashville, where it's 2 playoff teams together. And that would suck. And you're further unbalancing the schedule. And, you know, for all this idea of trying to align with Europe, we're moving further away from the concept of an actual balanced schedule when determining who advances further and forward, especially with a single table setup.
Yeah.
So I don't care about a fully balanced schedule.
Okay.
Because Major League Soccer is a salary cap league where everybody has the exact same resources to build a roster. And so, like, there really shouldn't be a difference. There shouldn't be that much difference.
We're seeing it more and more.
Yeah, but, like, there really shouldn't be that much difference in any team's schedule. So you get, like... So you get the divisions where you play like whatever teams twice.
Yeah.
But for me, like I would value playing every team.
Yeah.
Right? Over what we currently have. Where you don't play every team in the league even one time.
The current system right now, unless, again, I've mentioned this multiple times and nobody has explained to me where I'm wrong. So I'm going to assume that whoever is listening to this is not correcting me because there is no other alternative here. The current schedule right now is play everybody in your conference twice, and then Don Garber picks the 4-5 teams that you play from the other conference. There does not appear to be a rhyme or reason or pattern as to how you end up playing your cross-conference opponents. Like, it's very strange. So right now you end up with a weird unbalance that is not even like the NFL, where, you know, as soon as you know the division standings, you know next year's schedule, because there is
it's sort of years out. Like, you know, basically like most of the teams are going to play because it's just on a straight formula.
Right. The only difference is you tend to play the teams ranked at the same level of your division. Very annoying, but there is a system. Whereas right now, like if you were to ask me, when is the next time Nashville will go play at Galaxy? I have no clue. There's no way right now to know when that game is ever happening.
It's not a huge bother with the divisions. Like, number one, the thought is, I think from what the reporting has been, that the division winners would have an automatic entry into the MLS Cup playoffs but
they wouldn't have like seeding priority over teams that finish ahead of them on points.
No. And then the other thing too is that like the odds probably are that if you're winning your division, you probably already are a playoff team anyway. So I don't know that that's like a other than like the odd, like, oh, this NFL team made the playoffs at 7-10. That happens once every so often. I guess I could see that happening in a really bad pod, but like that's.
I don't think it would happen.
I think it'd be difficult.
Like I don't think there would be.
Yeah,
I don't know how many teams they're saying would make the playoffs, but like I have a really hard time imagining that somebody would like win the division, which I assume would be based on like total points, not just like division points.
Yeah,
and not be like a playoff team in like a 16 team playoff situation, right?
It does raise the possibility that if you're offering division winners entry into the playoffs, it does free you to reduce the total number of teams that make the playoffs. Because the idea of the playoffs is that, we're trying to incentivize as many teams as possible to keep trying and as many fan bases as possible to keep watching, thinking their team has a chance. Well, if you're in a bad division, you can always climb to the top of a bad division. And so there's always some avenue to make the playoffs in a division format that doesn't always rely on what the table is saying. So
yeah,
maybe. I guess it would suck if you get stuck in a turkey division, because then you're always seeing these teams over and over again. And it's like, how many more like years in a row are we going to have an away day at insert team here?
Right. If you guys are at all interested, I did jot down potential divisions. No, we're not interested. Fair enough.
Kevin. I'm interested, Kevin. Hit me.
Okay, this is what I came up with. So this is 5 divisions of 6 teams. So this is what I'm calling the East Division. It would be Toronto, Montreal, New York Red Bull, NYCFC, DC United, and New England. The big thing here is New England and Philly are split. That's going to be a tough one. But otherwise, I think we've mainly kept everything together. The Central Division is Cincinnati, Columbus, Chicago, Nashville, Charlotte, and Philly. Again, Philly's kind of the oddball here, but
Charlotte's almost more of an oddball there.
Charlotte is an oddball, but I'm giving Charlotte and Nashville. Both of them want Atlanta to be their rival, and Atlanta is not their rival. So Nashville and Charlotte are going to need to learn to love to hate each other.
So you have the South. The South is what, like Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, Houston, Dallas, Austin?
Yeah. So basically you have 3 teams in each of these little pods that are sort of like perfectly rivals with each other. Yeah. It makes more sense to keep them up rather than to split any one of those trio.
I don't like this. I would put Charlotte down there. And
who are you taking out?
Probably
Atlanta?
What do you have? It's Charlotte, Atlanta.
No. It's Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, and then the 3 Texas
Dallas,
teams.
Houston, Austin.
Yeah.
So
if you move Charlotte down there, you have to move Atlanta
out. You can't split up Orlando and Atlanta and Miami and Atlanta.
Because the problem is that the team, like Charlotte, doesn't belong with the Midwestern teams. The one that belongs with the Midwestern teams is St. Louis, because there's like the historic rivalry between St. Louis and Chicago, Cardinals and Cubs.
I'd agree with that. The problem we end up with there is if you went without that, you would have Philly, Charlotte,
Nashville. What about Philly, Charlotte, Nashville, Orlando, Miami, Tampa Bay Lightning.
We call that one the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, right there.
I mean, I will hear an argument for swapping what would essentially be Cincinnati, Columbus, Chicago for Austin, Dallas, Houston. So then your South is Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, Nashville, Charlotte, Philly. And then
is what?
What?
Nashville, Charlotte, Philly, Atlanta, Orlando, Miami. Yeah.
And then the Central would be Cincinnati, Columbus, Chicago, Austin, Dallas, Houston.
No, it would be Cincinnati, Columbus, Chicago, Minnesota, St. Louis, Kansas City.
Okay. So now, I could do that. So then that would give you, according to this, and I'm more than happy to move this around, Seattle, Portland, Vancouver. So I think we're all in agreement that that's a pod that can't move. And
Colorado,
then the Texas
Utah.
teams.
No, Colorado, Utah.
LA.
Nah, see,
Oh,
here's
shit.
the problem. So out west, it's Galaxy, LAFC, San Diego, San Jose.
No, here's what it is. There you go.
God.
You have Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, San Jose, Colorado, Salt Lake, and you have LA, San Diego, and the Texas teams.
Oh, you're going to do that to San Jose? You're basically saying San Jose, you're not a part of California anymore.
Well, they're by
the
San
other
Francisco.
option is just to give the
Like,
Texas teams to Liga MX, which I'm okay with too.
I don't think you're calling because they're still going to play the other California
They
teams.
will, and that is ultimately the thing, right? Is that all of these teams will play each other. Like
No, all they're looking for with this is what they're looking for with these divisions, and the reason for it is that they want to create some. I'm assuming the way they're going to do this is they want drivable pods where you might end up turning out 200, 100 fans from the other team on a weekend game. That's ultimately what they're doing. And for LA, it's like you're already at LAX, and for Salt Lake, it's like, hey, we have a hub, we can fly anywhere.
Right.
I do kind of see where Kevin's going, though. I think that I'll say this for Kevin's original alignment, that it does a better job of keeping like the California teams all together.
Yeah.
And the natural rivals all together. I think what Chief and I suggested
is more geography.
Kept more teams together in a way that like feels like it makes sense, except for you have San Jose in a weird spot.
Yeah.
And that sucks because San Jose and Galaxy are a long-standing rivalry in the league.
They sell out the Levi Stadium or Stanford Stadium every year.
But we didn't make the league expand to LAFC and San Diego and Austin. I mean, we could pull Austin out of Texas.
I mean, they're kind of not a Texas
Sacramento
city anyway.
We could pull Austin out of Texas, have Austin, Colorado, Salt Lake, Vancouver, Seattle, Portland.
Yeah.
And then San Jose, LA, San Diego, Houston, Dallas.
Or you could put Austin in with Columbus, Cincinnati, Chicago in that little pod, because then it's Crew 1.0 and Crew 2.0 right there.
I will promise you one thing. Austin and Columbus will not end up in a division together.
I think we're all just looking for a reason not to have Charlotte in whatever pod we're in, because nobody wants to go play in a football stadium on artificial turf.
I don't think I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's a little challenging because you have, like Chief said, or not like Chief said, like Kevin said, right? You have New England, you have the two New Yorks, you have Montreal, you have Toronto, and you have DC. I think it's tough to put Philly in that group, even though Philly probably should be in that group.
I would agree. You can't split Philly and New York up. I
guess DC goes down to the Midwest or the South.
This is where I have like the thought of like DC as an original has a long-standing, perhaps the oldest rivalry in MLS is New York Red Bulls and DC.
New York, New Jersey Metro Stars and DC.
Thank you.
So it would be crazy to split up any of New England, Montreal, Toronto, New York.
It's kind of where I ended up with, yeah. So then it's a
matter
matter
of
DC
Montreal's
and
going to be in
Philly.
the league once it goes to the winter, though. Let's be real here.
When Montreal goes to Phoenix
Tampa.
Or Indianapolis,
that solves another or Tampa, that solves another problem.
This is
the
seismic.
Story of a girl.
Yeah, this is seismic
who
for
cried
the
a
league
river
right here, and it just feels
and drowned the whole world.
You can keep going.
When she looks so
Actually, don't.
sad.
I think we get
Photographs.
sued.
Photographs.
I
I absolutely love her. When she smiles.
Good to conditional. Put a condition on that. I only love her when she smiles.
Yeah.
She should smile more.
She's so much prettier when she smiles.
That's always good advice.
I'm always saying that.
So
So they're gonna.
now I will say,
they'll pass this, and it's
yeah,
single table divisions.
I think the respect of the supporter shield is good. I do think you could do a balance of division winners and then like the remaining top seeds that didn't win their division. I think it's probably a good, fair way to balance, wild card spots rather than rewarding, the weaker members of a given division. Just go with the overall table. I think that's good. I think this strengthens the argument for the supporter shield being an important trophy. I understand it will not surpass MLS Cup so long as it exists. But I think a more unified table where at a minimum you are playing everybody in the league once, I think it helps it a little bit.
I mean, we already used the unified table for the supporters shield. If you go on MLSsoccer.com, there's the supporters shield table you can look at anyway. So the move to the unified table isn't a big deal, I don't think.
And again, like MLS salary cap league,
yeah,
every team is as good as every other team. You don't need a equal schedule.
Yeah.
To because it's all the same. It's like, oh, you didn't play Philly, but you played Vancouver. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this year you didn't, but if you were playing, like Atlanta twice, that would be kind of nice.
Yeah. And at the end of the
but
day,
but if you played Atlanta twice, you also had to play Columbus twice, Miami twice, Philadelphia twice, Cincinnati twice.
Yeah. It's funny that
Nashville twice.
That we've seen, yeah, the sort of like the stronger a conference is, like it still shows up as more better teams. It's not like it's a super weak conference. Therefore, there are, they all beat up on each other and they all gained a bunch of points. Like it's funny that it does eventually wash out. But the other thing is, at the end of the day, this is a cup awarded to the playoff winner. The schedule doesn't matter. There is not a league in the world that
whoever comes
playoffs.
out of the West will have played a much easier schedule than whoever comes out of the East when it comes to the MLS playoffs.
Yeah.
So, like if frickin' Miami makes MLS Cup final, they'll have beaten Nashville, they'll have beaten Cincinnati, they'll have
Probably
beaten probably Philly.
But maybe a pretty
or the
damn
team
good New York
that beat Philly. Yeah,
Maybe,
right.
And then they'll have to play like Vancouver or LAFC. Like that's a murderer's row.
Yes. The Cincinnati team that would be the number 1 seed in the West. Like again, looking at the weirdness of the table.
Yeah.
So,
You know what I just want?
Yeah.
I want them to, if they're going to do this, just do it and then leave it alone for like 20 years. Just leave it alone. Leave the playoffs alone. Leave the schedule alone.
Even if it sucks a little bit.
Alone. I just want some certainty of what this league is going to look like.
Let's just settle on something and then just like let it rock.
Yeah. Build history, build stories, build that up. Right now, it is so hard to say like, oh, this is the all-time leading goal scorer in the playoffs. So it's like, oh, it's because they used to play 90 games in the playoffs, and then there were the couple of years so they played 1 game in the playoffs. Like, it's too hard to like keep the narrative of the league going right now.
Right. And this will change forever, like what it means to win Supporters Shield. So we're gonna have an entirely new standard as to what team wins Shield, because of the way the schedule works out. Just leave it alone and let me have the ability to, like you said, compare teams across generations, to compare players across generations, and to like let someone grow up knowing that
with
like
a
the MLS
format.
well, no, it's like that. Like the playoffs are the same as when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like the NFL, like they've tinkered with how many wild cards there are and how
Sure.
many, who gets a bye week. But at the end of the day, it's the same shit. It's single elimination games until you reach the Super Bowl, and it's like just let us have a history with this league that we can use to just have a bar debate. This league would benefit so much from people being able to sit around a bar and talk about this team versus that team or this player versus that player where there is a shared experience among all of them. You know who's losing that right now is college football. We were talking about that earlier. That like because now it's a Big Ten matchup to watch Rutgers versus USC. It's changed all these like sort of historical conversations you used to be able to have about these conferences and these teams. MLS needs to do the exact opposite. Pick something and stop screwing with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It could do some good with that.
They won't.
Of course not. Of course
they can't.
not.
This league can't help itself.
How do we feel about a double elimination tournament? I gotta say, seems convoluted.
It seems convoluted. I don't really care.
Yeah.
No, it's whatever they do. Like everyone hates the current MLS playoff format presented by Audi, as discussed by the Worlds GAM. The problem is like, what do you do in order to reward having a higher seed? Because what everyone wants to talk about, this idea of like, oh, go back to home and home with goal aggregate. Well, there's no home field advantage in that. That's dumb.
No, I don't want that.
You have made your regular season worthless if you do that.
Yep.
This format, at the very least, it rewards home field. Theoretically, what they're talking about with the I think the way that I understood it would be that like if you were the higher seed and you won your first round playoff game, you would advance. The other team would get knocked out. If you lost, that you would still have another opportunity to play that same team on a replay. They would have to beat you twice, I think, in order to advance, was the way I understood.
I think it was maybe.
Yeah. Either
but
way,
I think it was like a certain number of higher seeds have like a double elimination playoff, and then the rest of the teams are in single elimination playoff, which I do kind of generally like single elimination playoff for the most part. And so I do think that would be an improvement on what we currently have.
So whatever it is, it has to confer some sort of seeded advantage for the higher seed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the seeded advantage has to involve a home field advantage of some sort, because in a salary capped league like we're talking about, the home field advantage is massive. And if we're not talking about that, then we are devaluing our regular season tremendously.
Yeah, because like the regular season champion gets the shield, but the regular season number 2, number 3, number 4 teams get nothing.
Right. So it's almost like if you're not going to win the shield, you should take your foot off the gas.
Yeah, just rest, just hang out.
Yeah. Dude, you want to hear my idea I cooked up today for how the playoffs should work?
Absolutely.
Kinda.
Okay. What you should do is you should assign every finishing spot a certain amount of playoff allocation money. So if you finish number one, hold on. Hold on. If you finish number one on the table, you get $10 million in playoff allocation money. If you finish number 2, you get like $9 million, and you go on.
I don't know what I'm spending this on, but I like it. Okay.
And what you can do is then
buy
there
goals.
is a competitive bidding process where you can buy the right to host a game on a day of the week you like, or you can buy the right to have a home game, or you can buy a time slot for when you want your game played.
You can buy a timeshare.
What'd you say?
You could buy a timeshare.
Timeshare, too.
Which you can't afford not to.
Right.
Well,
and like, can you put a price on a child's happiness going to Disney every year?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. It's a 50-year contract.
You can go to any Hilton in the world for 2 days a year if it's available.
Yes,
and
pre-booked.
If you book far enough in advance.
I want you to say it with me just to see how it feels. I've got a little place in Aspen. No, but then you it gets into a process where, like, yeah, if you have the most amount of playoff allocation money, you can outbid other teams for, I would like the last possible date to give my players the most amount of time to rest, and I would like a home game. Or if you're like scared money don't make money, I will play anytime, anywhere. I'm going to save my money for the next round and then have the ability to outbid anyone to have home field advantage later on in the playoffs.
Chief, I love this plan. If I may offer an addendum.
It's like a fantasy football auction draft, except for, playoff spots and seeding.
All I want is just a couple of more things are added to the pool of available purchasable goods.
Your referee, you can purchase which referee you want officiating your match.
That feels problematic.
You already can do that.
Fair, especially in Turkey. Oh, man. You can go up to the buffet. No, I want to be able to buy a goal. I want to start with a goal on a game.
No,
okay,
you can't buy a goal, but what you can buy is you can buy, I want this match to go to extra time in the event that it's tied, or you can buy, I just want to go straight to penalties.
Or golden goal. Can I buy a golden goal extra time? That sounds
You can
fun.
buy one extra kicker in the penalty shootout where you get 6.
See, that was the other thing I
want.
wanted to buy. I want to buy extra substitution slots.
Whatever. Like, you can make it, like,
Okay.
it's a capitalist system. You can put everything
Can I
for
buy
sale.
2 goalies in the penalty shootout? Just put one on, like, each side.
I'm saying they can be expensive. Like, you price it accordingly, but I want to buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you just make one available, and it's just an open marketplace to see which team wants to offer the most amount of money for it. One game in this playoff series is going to feature running PKs. Do you want to buy that?
I get my goalie, and I get like an MLS pool keeper on the other side.
Okay, hear me out.
Josh Lambo.
To make the regular season worthwhile and seeding worthwhile, the top seeds get to do a redraft of the teams that got eliminated from the playoffs. So you can pick a player off of an eliminated team.
So we can get like Christian Espinoza.
Yeah.
Just put him on our team.
Yep. He's just...
See, what I really want is I want to make sure that whatever
Give
system
us Miguel Almiron.
I've heard good things about this fella.
all I want is I want whatever playoff format they use to incorporate the MLS Next Pro idea, where the higher seed gets to pick who they face in the playoffs.
That is really what I want.
Because that's electric content that they're just allowing not to exist.
It's like we picked this team and we lost.
It's so
that
good.
rules.
I mean, it's like narrative on easy mode. It's like AI assisted narratives here.
Yeah.
Come on. Like,
yeah, force the managers to go to the selection show and walk up to the podium and like call out the team they want, and then both managers have to be on stage for like the showdown, the face off, like they do in a boxing match.
Like imagine Philly walking up there and saying, "We'll take Cincinnati."
Yeah, just
like the number 2
round.
seed.
Give it to me. Those guys can't touch us.
That actually happened in Next Pro. Scared money don't make money. We went
Yes.
the number 2.
Yeah.
We went the number 2 overall team.
And they lost.
They lost. And that's a great story. That's that's the manager then has to ask, why did you pick this team?
Yeah.
Why did you pick the team that knocked you out?
It's just not even bulletin board material. It just is material. It's just the game material. So these changes go into effect today when you're hearing this.
It'd be funny as hell, actually. It's like, surprise, the playoff format's changing in the middle of the playoffs.
It looks like it'll start in 2027. There will be a mini tournament in that spring, and then the season would kick off in late June, early July.
They'll also be, according to the worst kept secret imaginable, they'll also be announcing all of the roster changes and the salary rule changes this summer ahead of that transition. So,
and they'll be announcing the tapes releasing.
We releasing the tapes, or we bringing back the Tampa Bay Mutiny? That's the real question here.
So if we bring back the Tampa Bay Mutiny, we'll probably need another team to help out the expansion or the division. Yeah. The 32 is pretty easy to make division, so...
Yeah. Playoffs, I guess we can just touch on this briefly. Congratulations, FC Cincinnati. Brenner, awesome. Congratulations to Miami. Yay.
There was much rejoicing.
There was much rejoicing. San Diego didn't.
They
They didn't pull a St.
snot
Louis
out of them.
They did not pull a St. Louis and lose as their expansion team first overall playoffs.
Yeah.
That's good.
Embarrassed the hell out of Phil Neville.
Minnesota going down a man and still going up 3-2, and then letting Seattle get back in and tie it 3-3, and Minnesota then winning in penalties.
You want to change that playoff format? You want to get away from that kind of drama?
Well, there was one. Also, that could have happened in like a single game.
Yeah, it was a single game.
Yeah,
Seattle getting knocked out while not losing a single game in regulation. That's pretty funny.
And Minnesota only having a lead for that brief moment when they were up 3-2 before Seattle equalized. It was the only lead they had the entire series. We've talked about it before, the sort of first to 5 points system. If you had done that with this matchup, Minnesota would be out. Seattle would be moving on. 2 draws and a regulation win.
Chalky playoffs so far. We'll break down more of the games, and we'll have a preview of everything with next week before the actual matches start. Suffice it to say, though, I think the big takeaway from the playoffs so far on my end is that if you want to win MLS Cup and advance in the playoffs, you better prioritize the summer window, because just about all these teams that we're looking at right now made impact moves at the summer window and got significantly better at the summer window.
Yep. And the teams that got knocked out did not.
Stood pat for the most part.
Largely.
And it doesn't always have to be, big signings. Like, it doesn't have to be adding a DP. You look at Cincinnati. I mean, they added Brenner, who's a former DP, but the difference makers in that series, a lot of U22s. Or you can add Hyun-Min Son or Thomas Muller.
Yeah.
Massive DPs.
Always helpful.
Always helpful as well. So I think that it's funny that we spent most of this episode talking about this idea of the summer window not being as useful under the current schedule. The best teams in this league made perfect use of the summer window and the abbreviated run up to the playoffs. And that's kind of interesting as we're talking about saying goodbye to this entire process.
Yep.
With the exception of the number 1 overall seed, who largely didn't do a whole lot this summer.
Olaski.
Yeah.
Fair. Lost Aronson or... Yeah. No. Who's the other one that they lost? Who they lost?
They lost Quinn Sullivan to injury.
It's one of those. One of the families.
They still added, though. And they still made the team better. They didn't stand pat.
Yeah, that's fair.
They weren't satisfied.
That's fair.
Ambition. We love it. Chalky, but I think there's some tasty matchups that I'm really looking forward to in this next round. Some really, really good ones.
And Olaski wasn't that flashy of an ad.
Yeah.
But he was a very Philly ad. He was the price is right and there's a lot of value in this guy and he's undervalued by the team he's leaving. It was crazy that San Diego was we don't need this guy and his 10 goals or whatever.
We don't need one of the most solid contributors to us as we're having a record-breaking season. That's fine.
But it's all about it's filling the holes you have, and it's about making the team. And he was a guy that Philly, they needed that presence on the team. They needed someone that offered them just a little bit more firepower up top as they play tenacious defense. So
yeah.
If you are a fan of a team that doesn't do business in the summer, I guess demand better. I don't know, or wait for the schedule change, and hopefully things will get better.
Yeah, that'll do it. All right, cool. Chief, kill it. No cold weather games. Fuck cold weather, and release the tapes and bring back the mutiny. The Worlds GAM is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com, or you can find out more information about the people putting this podcast together. I also want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers, a fantastic band that has provided us with all of the music in this episode. The voiceover work at the beginning of the episode was done by Steph E., which was paid for her time and also not an AI voice. And if you have liked what you have heard so far, or even if you haven't, I am begging you, please like us, rate us, review us, leave us 5 stars. That would be amazing. Leave a little note saying how much you liked it. But maybe more importantly, share this with a friend or mention us to another fan of an MLS team. I think that would be a lovely way to help our little community grow. But regardless of whether or not you liked it, whether or not you share it, whether or not you review it, I want to say thank you for listening to it.